An Oklahoma judge Friday dismissed a reparations lawsuit filed by the last 3 known survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre. The survivors have been locked in a legal battle against the city of Tulsa, as well as other groups and officials, over the 1921 riot. A white mob killed up to 300 black Americans and devastated the city's Greenwood neighborhood. The dismissal of the lawsuit comes as some are trying to downplay the racial component to one of the most horrific displays of white supremacist violence in American history. Oklahoma State Superintendent Ryan Walters was recently asked how teaching about the Tulsa Massacre didn't violate his strict ban on critical race theory. His response, you sitting down? Quote, "Let's not tie it to the skin color." Meanwhile, in California, the fight for reparations reached a new level as a task force unveiled a comprehensive 1,000-page report on the ongoing harms experienced by African Americans as a result of slavery. The plan also proposes recommendations for financial compensation and could be a blueprint for other states to follow. Joining me now, Camilla Moore, attorney and chair of the California Reparations Task Force, and the Reverend Al Sharpton, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, president and founder of the National Action Network, and author of the book, Righteous Troublemakers. Thank you both very much for coming to the Sunday show. Rev, let me start with you. Your reaction to the news that an Oklahoma judge dismissed that reparations lawsuit filed by the last 3 survivors of the Tulsa Massacre.
Well, I think it's outrageous. Mother Fletcher, who you showed in the pictures, 109 years old, was at National Action Network, our weekly rally just 3 Saturdays ago. And when you hear the horrific story of what happened in Tulsa in 1921, she literally had to hide under beds to even survive it. Over 300 people killed based on the fact that a young black man in Tulsa was falsely accused of something with a white woman in the elevator downtown Tulsa. A mob came and put that young black boy in jail. The community, some of the men came down to stand and say, "You're not going to lynch this boy." And whites gathered and burned down the Greenwood section, which became known as Black Wall Street, because all the businesses, the land, the property was owned by blacks. Burned it to the ground, ended virtually everybody because they were black. And now you not only dismiss the lawsuit of people that suffered economically, lost everything, you now going to have a school superintendent statewide that say, don't even mention race in a race massacre. That's like saying don't mention anti-Semitism about the Holocaust. This is outrageous, and it's something that gives with the climate we're in. If you go to Florida, take Black history or some black books out the schools. We are in an era where people are trying to really turn back the clock on us 60 years, and we need to fight back.
Chair Moore, let's talk about the California Reparations Task Force final report. Incredibly comprehensive, goes into detail on eligibility, compensation, and policy changes. Governor Newsom, and the legislature are expected to begin considering the proposals next year. The number that jumps out is $1 million. Potentially per resident. Can you talk? How is that $1 million calculated?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you both. What the task force decided was we hired 5 economists and public policy experts to help us calculate the pure monetary loss that African-American Californians have incurred since statehood over 5 harm areas, from health harms, mass incarceration and over-policing, unjust property takings, housing segregation, and devaluation of black businesses. So what that $1 million represents is we're not recommending that the state pay out $1 million. What that $1 million represents is the average 71-year-old African-American Californian has actually lost $1.2 million over their lifetime due to exclusionary state public policy. And so what we're actually recommending is for the state legislators to read our report, read that methodology, and then actually prescribe the monetary amounts based on that methodology.
And I am so glad I asked you that question because, that $1 million number is going to become part of a huge debate. And Chair Moore, according to a recent Pew poll, 80% of white Americans oppose reparations for the descendants of enslaved people. Are you prepared for the political blowback California and the task force may receive?
So we know that reparations, particularly for descendants of slaves, has always been a politically charged idea. The state task force, we actually created a public education committee that is working to educate California's public on our findings, as the intro to this segment noted, to change the hearts and minds of all Californians to support this idea. So we know there's a steep battle ahead, but we're prepared for the fight.
And Reverend Al, the report has been hailed by some task force members as a blueprint that other states could follow. As the issue of reparations makes its way through the state legislature and becomes a national debate, what are your thoughts on Republican candidates potentially using it as a major issue in 2024?
I think that, first of all, as you know, Jonathan, I've been an advocate for reparations for many years. I think that the fact that they have done it in a methodical way in California and then other states are now beginning to pick it up, I think shows the seriousness of it. And no one can deny that we are owed for building a country that our forefathers never got paid for and that we in our lifetime suffer from. I mean, my parents couldn't go to certain schools because of segregation. We're not talking about by years ago. We're talking about in our lifetime. So I think that it is a clear moral and factual basis for it. Politically, I think you are right. Some Republicans will use it. And I think the answer is, well, let me get this right. You don't want affirmative action to correct what happened, which is a conservative remedy. You don't want to repair the damage you did, because you must remember, we're talking about government repairing what government did. We, by law, couldn't go to certain schools. By law, couldn't sit in the front of a bus. By law, were slaves. So what are you saying? That blacks are just genetically inferior and that we just, by some genetics, couldn't equal everybody else in education, that we don't own land, that we don't have the same wealth? This is all because of what was done by government. Government must repair what government does. And I think the fight back with the right wing and Republicans are, if you don't want affirmative action, you don't want reparations, then tell us what is it that you want to remedy what was done to us and continues to be done. Make them say that we just think you serve for nothing, you can't rise up to the occasion, and we're marking you out. Make them say it.
Chair Moore, in the 20 seconds we have left, I hear you testifying in the background. I'll give you the last word.
No, what Reverend Sharpton is saying is absolutely right. You know, in the instance of California and throughout the report, but I'll just note housing segregation. In our report, we define actually exclusionary public policy, like how federal, state, and local governments created segregation through redlining, zoning ordinances, school and highway sitting decisions, and discriminatory federal mortgage policy. So to his point, there's actual exclusionary public policy that we can point to that justifies the need for reparations.
California Reparations Task Force Chair Kamilah Moore and the Reverend Al Sharpton, thank you both very much for coming to the Sunday Show.